In the post-war 1940s, Florida's allure brought waves of visitors and new residents, and that meant more drivers on the road. Free-roaming cattle became a hazard, and the open green spaces that originally attracted the early settlers were closed off as Florida became the last state to require fencing for its cattle in 1949. At the same time, Cecil Whaley Sr. was sculpting a showcase ranch in Osceola County, balancing native woodlands with improved Bahia grass pastures. He began a 3-pasture rotational grazing system for his herd while maintaining stunning migratory corridors for the area's wildlife.
Environmental stewardship has been a part of this ranch from the beginning. I've taken what my grandfather started and I think I've enhanced it even more. But with environmental stewardship, you have to see the benefits of what it does and know that everything you're doing is only helping enhance our operation.
In the early 2000s, Shane Platt continued to expand on his grandfather Cecil's vision. Together with the National Resources Conservation Service, he developed a plan for the 1,200-acre ranch that would maximize production without sacrificing the environmental quality of the land or water that Mr. Whaley worked hard to protect. Kissimmee Park Properties, the 250-head cow-calf operation, still relies on rotational grazing to feed its cattle, but in a more efficient way. Putting up over 5 miles of cross-fencing, Shane subdivided the original 3 pastures into 15 smaller, more productive ones. Now the cattle feed in the pasture for only a short time, usually 3 to 7 days, then rotate to another pasture that hasn't been grazed for about 3 weeks, which allows the grasses to regrow. The improved rotational grazing has enabled the ranch to increase its herd size by 2/3 with no additional acreage or other inputs. To provide fresh water to the cattle grazing in the new pastures, Shane ran 2 miles of water lines and installed 6 1,150-gallon troughs.
They will drift by a pond, right, but they definitely have learned that fresh water is here.
Mr. Platt definitely showed an interest in becoming more proactive and showed the passion to go out there and actually manage the property more closely. The care and the precision that he takes when he's actually implementing his management. He's very observant. He picks things up really quickly and is able to go out there and address them at that time.
Like I say, I think everyone ought to look at this system.
Shane applied this same proactive approach to his 60 acres of citrus groves. While freezes, hurricanes, canker, and now greening make it an extremely challenging venture, he is committed to growing citrus. Since 2010, the ranch has planted 5,000 replacement trees. To irrigate and fertilize the trees, Platt installed a low-volume jet irrigation system. This method of fertilizing not only allows the young trees to come into production a year earlier, it reduces the number of dry fertilizer applications by 1/4. In its first year of use, Platt saw a 40% increase in his crop. Using tensiometers to measure soil moisture content and a weather station jointly owned by Platt and the Osceola County Extension Service, the ranch relies on these new technologies, accessible with a smartphone, for freeze warnings and for determining when to irrigate and fertilize its citrus groves.
He is willing to look at the new technologies and willing to invest in those technologies because he understands that in the next 5, 10, 15 years, those are going to be things that everybody will do. And I think that's an important statement just in and of itself of the work that Shane's done out here on this grove.
With the same dedication the Platts put into caring for the land, they put into caring for the water. Making up 2.5 miles of the ranch's southern border is Lake Tehopacaliga, the headwaters of the northern Everglades. Any runoff from lands around the lake could have a detrimental impact downstream. For its part, Kissimmee Park Properties follows a strict set of best management practices to ensure that the water leaving the ranch meets quality standards established by the state. The pine, oak, and cypress hammocks that run along its natural lakefront ridge and throughout the ranch serve as excellent wildlife habitat. To protect and enhance the corridors and pastures, the ranch follows a three-pronged brush management program. Roller chopping rids the pastures of unwanted brush. To control invasive exotic plants, Platt has partnered with the NRCS and others to control plants like the pervasive Chinese tallow tree that can render the corridors impassable.
Shane, let's go over this paperwork.
To reduce the potential for wildfire and improve desirable vegetation, Platt partnered with the Florida Forest Service, who designed a controlled burning program for the ranch.
So this burn came out pretty good, don't you think, Tom?
It looks real good. He's put a lot of time and effort and money into this place the last few years. And he's come in here with mechanical treatments such as chopping. He's also been burning. That combination of burning and chopping has really enhanced his timber resource out here and his wildlife considerations.
The ranch has a diverse wildlife population that includes a number of rare and threatened species, such as gopher tortoises, fox squirrels, and the endangered Everglades snail kite. It's also home to 5 nesting pairs of eagles, with one nest located near the headquarters. Another 15 to 20 eagles overwinter at the ranch. The riches of the ranch's habitat have allowed the Platts to open its gates to a number of worthy programs. They've participated in the Wounded Warrior Project, providing deer hunts for disabled military veterans. The Platts also host annual hunts for charities and scholarship funds that promote agriculture. For agriculture to remain viable, the industry requires leaders who can work with officials at all levels to ensure it has a voice in affecting public policy. To help develop those leaders, UF-IFAS sponsors the Wedgeworth Leadership Institute for Agriculture and Natural Resources. This program teaches individuals in the private sector how to influence policy and address issues crucial to Florida agriculture.
Wedgeworth Leadership helped us take our management abilities to the public. I mean, agriculture is a business. You have to be in front of the public. You have to tell your story. We went from small town situations to national and international, state level leadership, and it was just a life-changing experience to go through Wedgeworth.
Shane attended the Institute's second class in the mid-1990s and continues to remain very involved.
Shane Platt's involvement in the Wedgeworth Leadership Institute has been extensive. Shane was one that really truly gave back and continues to give back to our program and to our alumni association. And he's done that through several ways. He's provided some guidance in areas that we've needed it to, again, remind us of where we've come from. And that's very important to us. And so he's done that through the advisory council. He also took on the leadership of the alumni association.
That's kind of awesome.
Kissimmee Park Properties has been designated a Century Pioneer Family Farm, recognizing the family for over 100 years of continuous farm ownership as the original stewards of the land. It's a role they feel very strongly about.
Well, in business, stewardship means protecting assets and resources. But here on the ranch, it's similar, but the resources that we're protecting are the natural resources that God created. That's a pretty tall order to fill. But for me and our family, stewardship is about a respect for the past and a responsibility to the future.
I think the best thing Grandpa did was he taught us how to be stewards of the land.
we need to take care of the land because the land supports the cattle, supports the trees, and supports us. So I think we can only improve. There's always new research that comes out. There's always new technologies. There's always something that we can do better.
A lot of people look at a piece of property and they see dollar signs. We look at a piece of property and we see the opportunity to ranch, the opportunity to do what we love, because for us it's not about the money, it's about what we get to do with this piece of property. We love to ranch, we love citrus. It started because of the love of agriculture and ranching, and it's the reason why we continue to do what we do.